Hey everyone, happy Monday off the rail sports with Bert Beiswanger. I hope you're having a great day and kickoff to your week so far. We had another great weekend on the sports landscape, locally, nationally, everything. I love college basketball is in full swing. So like yesterday, Saturday, and yesterday there were a lot of good games, good matchups. So that's intersecting with football. But I love basketball. I love college basketball. So I got to find a way to make it all work. Watch some college football, watch some college basketball on Saturday, and yesterday watched some NFL and watched more college basketball into the night. Florida Gators played Miami. That was on at 8:30. A little late for a Sunday night basketball game, but hey, I watched it anyway. Um, but on the football end of things, IU takes care of business like we thought they would against Wisconsin, and I was surprised they didn't win by a little more. I'm not knocking the effort. I just thought I thought they'd beat them by about 35. And Wisconsin's tough. Their quarterback absolutely stinks, so they have no offense whatsoever. But it is Wisconsin, which means they've got some big boys and they play hard, do what they can, but they just can't score. So kind of hard to win games when you can't score. IU takes care of business. They'll take care of business next week against Purdue in the regular season, undefeated, playing the Big Ten national title game against Ohio State, and away we go. That's the one thing, by the way, that's nice about the Big Ten this year is these conferences. What's not nice about college football right now is a lot of things. Actually, I frankly am wearing out on college football. These super conferences are so stupid. You can't even get a balanced schedule within your own conference. Half the time, you don't even know if the two best teams in the conference are actually playing for the conference championship. And in the old days when you had like a 12-team SEC or a 14-team SEC or at least two divisions, whatever conference we're talking about, you had to play everyone in your division, and then you had some crossover games, and you had the guarantee that you were going to play the other best team. So the best team in the other division. So you couldn't bypass any of the best teams. They were either in your division, you played them, a la Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. That ridiculous imbalance of the Big Ten. That was so stupid. Anyway, but like in the SEC, Florida had to play Tennessee and Georgia and whomever else in their own division, and then you'd cross over and you played LSU and Auburn or whoever, and then if you won your division, you guaranteed you were having to play Alabama. But most conferences aren't like the ACC. I don't know who's going to play for the championship, but in the Big Ten, we know the best two teams are playing for the championship, so that's clear cut. Looking forward to this. Can you imagine that Saturday in Indianapolis? By the way, the center of the sports universe, pretty much. Uh, not every weekend. I know that, but overall just there's one thing after another in Indianapolis. And that weekend we have the Big Ten championship game, followed by no, preceding that on the same day, IU plays Louisville in basketball at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. So you have Louisville IU, Big Ten basketball, or I'm sorry, Big Ten basketball game at Gainbridge, and then that evening you have the Big Ten championship. How good is that? And I think IU has a chance to beat Ohio State. I really do. But yeah, Ohio State, like a lot of teams in the Big Ten, their schedule has just been. They're whipping everybody. I get it, but they really haven't played that many tough games. Um, they haven't played IU and they haven't played Oregon. And they haven't played Michigan yet. That's coming up. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see. But IU marches on. Notre Dame pummeled Pitt. I was a little worried about this game. I shouldn't have been. I've never wavered from the fact that I say Notre Dame is really, really good. I'm glad they're going to make the playoffs. I know they have a couple more games to win. I don't see them losing to Syracuse. I don't see them losing at Stanford. I love Jeremiah Love, no pun intended. That backfield's for real. Probably the best backfield in the country. 1-2 punch. But Notre Dame overall, really good. Really good. So it's going to be awesome to see them in IU in the playoffs. But wouldn't it be something? It's not going to happen. I don't know. If IU loses to Ohio State and then falls down to like 5 line, well, they're going to play at 12. Yeah, it's not going to happen. IU played at Notre Dame last year. I think it would be cool if Notre Dame had to go and play in Bloomington this year. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see how it could. At any rate, we like that. And on the national landscape, A&M, man, they were down 30-7 at home to South Carolina and came back and won 31-30 to stay undefeated. They're currently ranked third. I don't know how they're not number one based on their SEC schedule. Their win at Notre Dame, no idea. I could argue the Ohio State a little bit. Maybe Ohio State, A&M, IU. People say what matters? Well, it matters. It's going to matter. Rankings matter. Seeding matters. Again, not bashing IU, man. I'm giving A&M credit. They're undefeated in the SEC with a win at Notre Dame. They should be ranked second at least, and I could argue they should be ranked first. And what's that mean? It doesn't mean anything. It means the top 3 teams are pretty clear cut at this point in the game with a couple games to go. So we'll see. Look forward to next week. Some more elimination games in some of these conferences. Yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. There's a lot to be decided throughout the 1 through 12, or I would say 4 through 12. There's a lot to be decided there. So we'll see what happens. On the NFL front, Colts were off. I kind of like that. I like having a breather, getting to watch other games. I always watch other games anyway. It's not like my world revolves around the Colts. I watch the Red Zone and some other games. But Colts off. They go to KC next week, and KC's coming off another loss. I don't know how they lost. Denver pulls games out. That's just about all I can say. Denver pulls games out. They pull another one out yesterday. I think this is Kansas City's 5th loss. So this game for the Colts, every win's important. Looking at it a few weeks back, you're saying, well, this is a really big game from a tiebreaker standpoint for seeding in the playoffs. Colts already have that magical win against Denver, that gift. And, if they got this one, that would be 2 major tiebreakers. But now it's Kansas City with 5 losses. I don't know. Going to be a tough game. Colts got their toughest stretch coming up. They got their toughest stretch. And it's their toughest stretch for a couple of reasons. It's their toughest stretch because they're going to be without their best defensive player, DeForest Buckner, on a defense that was already and kind of suspect on the defensive front, especially when it comes to pressuring the quarterback. And now you don't have DeForest Buckner. So I don't like that. The other reason it's a tougher stretch is because of the schedule itself. You play Jacksonville twice, Houston twice, and Houston's all of a sudden 5-5. And anyone who watches the landscape of football and all these games, Houston's lost so many games by that much. If they get C.J. Stroud back with that defense, those games are not layups by any stretch. Jacksonville, they're up and down, but hey, here they are. They're a game back behind the Colts. We're this close to having a tied division, right? The Colts, that game they pulled out against the Falcons last week, and then the Jaguars, they gave a game away late, and so yeah, we were close to having a division that tight. But nonetheless, there's a lot to be played, and the Colts have to play Seattle, who's really good and should have won at the Rams yesterday probably with 4 interceptions by Sam Darnold. But Colts still have to play San Francisco. They still have to play the Seahawks. I'm telling you, this thing. And if that offensive line does not get back to playing the way they did early in the season, and they're going to have some issues because this offensive line right now, the last 2 weeks, looks a lot like last year's offensive line. And that was time to pressure as a stat, meaning from the snap of the ball to when the quarterback's getting pressure. Colts were one of the worst last year, and the last 2 weeks they've been one of the worst. 12 sacks, 7 fumbles, ridiculous. Anyway, all right, but I'm looking forward to them getting back on the field. And hey, 8-2, take it all day, every day, and twice on Sunday, as they say. College hoops, love how IU looks so far. It's just, I think they're just, I think that, first of all, I know it's fun to watch a team that's, you can tell, is well coached and looks cohesive, and the way they're put together, just the type of players. I'm familiar with Sam Alexis. I like Sam Alexis a lot. He played at Florida. He came off the bench a little bit for first half of the season last year, but after a while, he didn't see much playing time, and that Florida team was so deep, so there was nowhere for him to get the minutes. But I like Sam Alexis. I like a lot of players on this team. DeVries can coach. His son can play. Um, it's refreshing to see an IU team look like a well-coached team, and a team that can shoot. It's crazy. How many years? Indiana basketball. How many years they had teams that can't shoot? It's ridiculous. That is so un-Indiana. It shouldn't be allowed. But nonetheless, they look good. Notre Dame played a tough game yesterday. They lost. Purdue, what a win at Bama this past week. What a game. That, hey, that's just one of those games you watch. It's like when I watched Florida and Arizona earlier this year, and I watched Purdue and Alabama, and you're like, it's just different level of player. Those teams have dudes, and that was a great game. Great win by the Boilermakers, and so they press on. We're loving the college hoops season. We're loving the college football season. We're loving the Colts being 8-2, and looking forward to another good week. That's all I got. I just wanted to say also a shout out to Indiana Sports Corporation and all those involved, corporate partners, community partners, donors, volunteers, you name it. Shout out to you. State of Sports was this past week, Thursday night at the JW Marriott, and a celebration of all the achievements from the past year, and then looking forward to what's coming down the pike in 2026 and beyond. So that's awesome. They are the I don't want to say this. There's so many people involved in this community that make things happen, but the Sports Corp is the hub. It's kind of the straw that stirs the drink, if you will, when it comes to all the sporting events that we bring to town, and we facilitate and promote and organize, and et cetera, et cetera. So Big Ten championships coming down the pike, stuff like that, basketball games, tournaments, you name it, swimming, U.S. swimming. They're coming back in 2028. Wow, how cool will that be? I mean, it's already cool that was here, but that's LA Olympics year, so that's that. You want to talk about eyeballs on Indianapolis? That's gonna bring it in. Anyway, it was a great time, great friends. I love being part of the Sports Corporation. I feel honored and privileged to be a volunteer part, and yeah, we'll keep it rocking. Hey, you keep it rocking into the week. Get a leg up, no matter what you're doing. Off the Rail Sports. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the week, everybody.